And this panel is titled Building a Tech Nation. And I'm super excited to be joined here by two key architects of Lebanon's innovation and industrial ecosystem. Mr. Maroun Chammas, who is a successful Lebanese entrepreneur, having a career that spans over oil and gas, telecom, F&B technology, and innovation. He is one of the first people who brought internet into Lebanon and has led several ventures, including IDM and Cablevision, and he is the vice chairman and general manager of Medco, Lebanon's leading oil and gas downstream company. He also has been the chairman and CEO of Berytech since 2003, and has been a driving force behind Lebanon's entrepreneurial infrastructure. And I'm very excited as well to have Mr. Fadi Daou, who is a serial high-tech entrepreneur with nearly 4 decades experience in optical and electrical engineering. MultiLane is his latest and 5th company that he has founded. And under Fadi's leadership, MultiLane has grown year over year with impressive 300 employees worldwide and is projected to reach 500 by 2025. Fadi maintains a strong focus on developing Lebanon as a global high-tech hub through MultiLane's corporate and CSR ventures, providing career paths for young Lebanese looking to begin their professional journeys, fulfilling the ultimate goal of exporting products, not people, from Lebanon. So let's begin by setting the stage and looking at the bigger picture. So what would it take to have Lebanon become a globally competitive high-tech manufacturing hub within the next 5 to 10 years? Maroun, we'll start with your perspective and then we'll go to Fadi's.
Okay. First, I want to thank the people that attended the opening ceremony, and just ask for those who want to stay for this part, which is a very interesting part, to sit down, to come close. There's plenty of chairs left, and if we can close the door to the main hall because it's a bit crowded outside. So, Lara, thank you for the question. Actually, I want to start by thanking also my dear friend for Fadi for being with us. And for those who don't know, Fadi started, when he came back from the United States, he started his journey at Berytech. And he established at Berytech, and I actually asked the team, the accounting team, to pull the first contract that we signed together when you stayed at Berytech. And I don't know if they have it here, but it's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to get to know you more and more, Fadi. You've been key to developing the infrastructure of technology or manufacturing technology in Lebanon. And Fadi is going to be talking about this in a while.
Yes.
I think Lebanon is really posed to be a good place where you can add value to anything in technology. But let me give some more information. Lebanon cannot be like China. It cannot be like India. We don't have the number of people. We don't have the capital investments that we might need. But we have a niche that we can serve. And this niche market is based on skilled workforce, skilled people, because if you look at the typical Lebanese, I don't know if it's a good or bad, but at the end of the day, Lebanese people, they don't like to, spend time doing masonry work or painting or doing hard labor. They want to spend time in a clean environment, in a air-conditioned environment maybe. They want also to use manual skills, and they want to have the flexibility, because Lebanese people, they get tired quickly, mentally they get tired quickly. So they need to always use their brains. This is a fact, unfortunately. So I think the kind of work that we can bring to Lebanon that has a lot of value add, and this is exactly what Fadi does, is typical for Lebanese manufacturing. And I will let you say more about that.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maroun. I'd like to go back 19 years. We organized an event at MIT. You were present, Tech Lab '06, primarily to explore what would it take back then to make Lebanon as a high-tech hub to manufacture high-tech equipment out of Lebanon. The challenge back then were the laws of Lebanon were impossible to create a competitive environment to be able to produce it or to be able to succeed. That was the outcome of three-day conference at MIT in May 2013. May 13, 2013, that was...
12 years ago.
I'm sorry, 2006. Apologize, 19 years ago. So this is how far we go back. I decided to come back to Lebanon. I moved back after the war of 2006. I wanted to say it's not impossible, we can do it. Despite all odds, we created a high-tech company. We grew. We have 350 people in Lebanon. We look to be 500 people in Lebanon by end of this year. We have over 1,000 SKUs. Most of our products are there to service the AI infrastructure business. We are leaders in at least 2 or 3 of the verticals globally. Our end customers are Cisco, Google, Meta, OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT, AWS, and the likes. And we're growing. Our current business is a niche market, is test and measurement, which is a small $1 to $2 billion TAM. We are looking, and our dream is to make Lebanon more competitive in terms of addressing the mass market and to be able to scale and create more than 10,000 jobs in Lebanon, along with partnerships in the ecosystem. To answer your question, what would it take to make Lebanon a high-tech hub? That's a long question, but I'd love to answer it if you give me 3 extra minutes. First, it takes to make a ease of doing business in Lebanon, or to make Lebanon a competitive place where a multinational company can come and operate in Lebanon. The law that just passed 3 weeks ago that Minister Joais Al-Khoury mentioned has been in the works for 10 years. This is the major milestone. This is the number one rule, the number one item to enable such thing. Beyond that, we need to be ready and prepare ourselves as a nation to become a hub by, I'm going to describe 5 or 4 basic pillars. 1, we need to develop AI infrastructure factories, or factories that can build these technology and products. So this is already work in progress. 2, we need to enable the industrialists in Lebanon so they can start building AI infrastructure products or modern products that are suited for this market. 3, we need to invest in education further to upskill and evolve the academic curricula so they focus more on the vocational trade and the electronics and nanofabrication, etc. And 4th, we need to start attracting the multinational companies and branding Lebanon to say Lebanon can be the high-tech place. But we have all the ingredients, our foundation, our DNA, our successful industrialists that goes back to our history as silk producers, and all the items are there. Thank you.
And Fadi, I know that with Humal Technology Park, you've been able to do reverse brain drain, you've been able to keep people in the country. So if you were to tap more into that, into the upskilling that you just mentioned, the upskilling of individuals, building this ecosystem, and do you need specific, and if you were to restart MultiLane now, what would be your wish in terms of policy reforms? What would be one thing that would have accelerated MultiLane's growth a lot if it were available?
I go back. The number one thing is the Lebanese government, and the rules of the Lebanese government were the number one roadblockers for all our lives. We've had to start secondary offices and different operations so that we are able to operate within a regime that is completely unsuitable for manufacturing, especially for re-export, without getting into the details. Now we're talking about upskilling and tooling. We've created an NGO or an entity called HTP Academy, whose purpose is to upskill and train in both technical, vocational, and advanced technology. So we have engineers who have 4, 5, 10 years experience that go to universities and have courses. They give courses at AUSD, at USG, at UZEC, at Lebanese University, primarily fully paid by MultiLane. LAU as well, all the universities, not just LAU. Development. not all the universities. We also host detailed training and advanced training on site, and we advocate always for the high schoolers to go into this AI technology infrastructure because this is the future.
All right,
And
thank you.
now you asked me a question about retaining talent.
Yes.
We are extremely lucky. I don't know whether by luck or by skill, but we have over 95% retention ratio. This
That's
is very
amazing.
high for any engineers.
It's super high for Lebanon.
And the reason we retain them, because they get to work on the most advanced technology. We are, of course, global leader in what we do, so they come and work with us. They wanna get a chance one day to visit the offices of OpenAI in San Francisco, or they wanna go to Cisco or to any other country and so on. So this is very exciting stuff.
Thank you. And Maroun, you have a very unique lens within Berytech and within the entrepreneurship ecosystem. And within that, there is a big disconnect sometimes between innovation and industrialization. How do you think we can bridge that gap between these two segments?
Well, very important question. How you can bridge between innovation and industrialization. First, I just want to add to clear the law that was passed. We're still waiting for the Merasim Tatbiqiyya, right, Fadi? So we have with us the General Director of Customs that I salute, Mr. Khoury. You don't know how important your role is in the implementation of the law when it will be passing. The creation of thousands of jobs, the influx of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars into Lebanon. The law is good, now we need to implement it. And we need to simplify things for companies that will be benefiting from the law. And the law calls for, actually, anyone that has 10,000 square meters can apply, and he has to have certain criteria, which is quite good. So it will be there will be decentralized industrial high-tech zones in Lebanon, which is quite good. Now, to go back to what you said, it's simple. You can shift from innovation to industrialization, provided that you have the scale. The scale comes when you have the money, when you have the people, and you have the infrastructure. So let me talk about those three components. And let me start with the infrastructure. Infrastructure, we're talking about electricity, we're talking about the internet, high-speed internet. We cannot work and become an industrial place in Lebanon and satisfy the people of, like Fadi Daou and MultiLane if we don't have the simplicity in implementing the infrastructure. If I'm going to wait 6 months to get high-speed internet, fiber optic, forget it. We're never going to be an industrial country. We need to have, like any place in the world, if you want today high-speed internet, you should order it and have it within the next 24 hours. Because it's a simple decision. The process today, it's complicated by bureaucracy, by جيب لي الورقة وخذ لي الورقة وapply why you need it and why you don't need it and so on. And Minister Joaisal Khoury, please, we need you to influence or put all your weight, because you are responsible for the Ministry of Industry. But industry without telecom, and telecom without kaharaba, and kaharaba without roads, it's a whole loop. We cannot just, take this and say, okay, we're going to have a great place and people are going to invest in Lebanon if we don't have the whole circle buckled. Okay, so this is very important, extremely important. And of course, education. When I say the resources, the people today, we need to have more and more technical schools. We need to have more and more programs into universities that address, those needs. And I'm sure Fadi is ready to provide, what is needed to have a number of, engineers and technicians. And trust me, if today, I think in Lebanon we have How many graduates per year we have, undergraduates? 30,000? All universities? Okay. We can definitely absorb a big number if we get to the stage where we start, the industrialization process. So I talked about the human resources, the infrastructure. What was the third component? The laws, yeah. The bureaucracy and the administration. Administration is key to all of this. The administration, whether it's the telecom administration, the electricity and so on, the customs, the port authorities and so on. These are all essentials. I mean, we all have to think that if we really want to go to the next level in Lebanon, we all need to collaborate and work together. And this summit in particular is meant to bring together all the people that are stakeholders into what we want, the generation of getting to have Lebanon an industrial country and all the support systems. E-government, of course. E-government is key, is essential. I'm just going to give you a little, not problem, but things that everybody faces in Lebanon. If you want to go and register a contract today at the municipality, it takes days to do it. Whereas if you are in any other place in the world, it's electronic. You don't need anything. You just upload the document, you pay the duties, and here you go. That's it. You don't have to go back and forth. You don't have to go park your car, pay bakshish, whatever, and so on. This is what we need to do. We need to fast track. We need to fast track all of Lebanon. So we are really a place where investors are welcomed and not just, talking about it.
Yeah, and I think we're putting a lot of pressure on His Excellency right now. It's not just you. So if we were looking more on the positive side, and how can actually collaboration between public and private partnership, actually, how can it be reimagined to have a better support system for innovation, and that is always coupled with investment and industrial scale production. So when we're looking at this ecosystem, we have to look at the public, at the private, as the investment, at the investment as well. I think that is very relevant, as well as the industrial scale.
Thank you. Let me take that briefly. So the key pillars we mentioned is building ecosystem, building manufacturing capacity, upskilling the people. These are the jobs in principle of the private sector rather than the public sector. I want to mention an example which has been extremely successful in recent history during the past 50 years. That is the Irish Development Authority. That is the perfect model for private-public partnership that led to a significant evolution of the economy in Ireland, whereby the public sector and the private sector joined forces, where a private company operated to attract the multinational into Ireland, and that created so many jobs, and that was a huge double-digit multiplier to the GDP growth for over a decade. So in Lebanon, I'd like to go back to the key items. Once the industrialists see an opportunity for building products for the global AI market, which we want to encourage them and enable them. And this is a collaboration project between the Ministry of Industry and the private sector. That's one element. The other element is education. We need more involvement of the private sector in specifying the technical requirements that are given in the curricular, not only of the theoretical schools, because once you go to industry, you need the vocational schools, the trade schools. That's a very, very important element. One project that we're putting together is a co-op program where we're starting freshman students that go to college to start with a co-op program where they come and learn and work in the industry, in a factory, they get their hands dirty. And this is a collaboration with the educational institution to rearrange their schedule. So these are some of the key important elements. The development of the infrastructure, of course, it's also a PPP project. But just to give you an idea, in Humel Technology Park, we are not connected to the network. We do not rely on the on the government to provide us energy. We set up our own solar, and for the past 3 weeks, we have not turned on the generators.
Is that because His Excellency
Right,
Fayyad
right,
is
right.
here?
And we
جيت
wanted,
بوقتك.
we wanted the fiber optic link. They said it's 6 months, but you can do it by yourself if you dig the streets. So we dug the streets per the specs and requirements, and we brought up connectivity to the campus. So these are
Yeah.
the basic.
And Maroun, from your perspective, looking at how we have been bridging the gaps as accelerators, incubators, we have been trying to somehow bridge the gap between these private-public partnerships, having these collaborations between academia and industry, these technology transfer offices. How do you see that collaboration in propelling Lebanon as a tech hub?
Okay. First, I mean, don't forget that since 2019, the focus has been a bit elsewhere because there were some other priorities that came along after the, all the crisis that went through between 2019 until 2024. Yeah. But now I think we need to put the train back on track. To put the train back on track, you have layers of, let's say, basic needs that need to happen, okay? Because, as I said earlier, nothing is going to happen without money. And money brings everything, brings wealth, brings support, brings everything. So, first of all, to bring the money, you have to bring back the confidence. To bring the confidence, we needed a president. We got a president, we got the government, but we're a bit distracted by the elections that are coming in next year. But still, we still need to forge the road to try to gain the confidence of the international community. The international community has given support, limited support, but has given support for the past few years, okay? But now, I think we need to gear up and go to the next level. The next level, all the international community was saying, we will give support once you have a government and you do the reforms. So now we're waiting for the reforms, right? The reforms will come, the reforms will bring back confidence, and once the confidence will be back in the country, I think there will be a total explosion of investment, starting from the diaspora, that I'm sure is eager to come back to Lebanon and invest. But for them to invest, again, we have to have the judicial system, we have to have the banking system. Without bank, we cannot work. So, in a nutshell, Lara, we have to have a fast track of Lebanon. Fast track Lebanon 2.0 can only come if we work day and night relentlessly. We cannot stop. I mean, I know for a fact that many ministers are spending lots of time, very long hours at the ministry with their collaborators, with all the people they work with, to really try to put the plan and enact the plan. And this is needed. Fast-tracking Lebanon, and we're Lebanese people are people that are very anxious. They want to have things done quickly. Okay, so to do things quickly, we have to compress the time, like we compress data, right, Fadi? So we need to compress the time, and in order to compress the time, we need to go much faster than what we're doing today. So basically, if we do that, we'll have all the cycle, we will prime the pump, we will have the cycle that comes back online, we will have things that will work much faster. And once we have that, I think within, let's say, if we go fast, we need 3-4 years. If we go at the pace at which we're going now, we need 6-7 years. So basically, I think this is food for thought, and it's up to us to choose if we want to go faster, or normal pace. Very fast.
Thank you both for your insights. I think what we've heard today and now has been clear. Lebanon does have the talent. Lebanon needs the policy reforms, but realizing this vision requires strong collaboration. We have the geographical advantage between the GCC and Europe, and I think now is the time to work all together to get that to work. Other than this microphone. Thank you all.